Well, 12 minutes into 10 a.m. in Central African time. A pleasure to have you join us here on the journal as we talk all things agriculture here on the Living Land. So South Africa has an emerging cannabis sector, and it seems to be opening new pathways and new doors and conversations around farming, cultivation, trade, and economic opportunity, as it were, that can actually come from developing a sustainable cannabis value chain. So we're going to talk about that. My special guest in studio is Xolani Mathews Mashaba. He is the founder of Eplangeni Group, with Eplangeni Nursery production forming one of the core divisions of this particular business. They, as we understand it, incorporate practical experience in cannabis retail, and they have a growing focus on nursery production as well as cultivation. I'm so excited to find out more about Eplangeni, and I was just remarking to Xolani that he is in a wonderful business, and it's good that he's entering an emerging space. So there's so much to explore. Xolani, it's so wonderful to meet you. Love your pink shirt. Welcome.
Greetings, guys. Greetings to the listeners. Greetings to you, sister. I really appreciate and thank you for the platform.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. I think it's every farmer's dream to go from seed to market. That is the ultimate goal. But before we talk about, the nitty-gritties of the sector, let's talk about cannabis as a space for you and how you got interested and developed an interest.
Okay, cannabis for me, it seems like I was born into the cannabis space, but never understood that this is where I belong. Because I grew up with my father. My father, which he was a stoner. He's still a stoner, but currently he has low because he's a grown man right now. So I grew up seeing him and being curious because I've been asking questions about Mbonu Koko, Uguchu Koko. She's always giving the men a space. And Mangimbuzu Koko, why my dad is using this? Because I never understood the plant before. So she was like, "Ay, mtanami for abantu abadala, yabo, to connect with abantu abadala." And then me, I was like, "Why Koko mina nga connecting abantu abadala?" Then she's like, "No, you're still young. Well, you need to grow up and then you can understand it better when you are grown." So that's how I was introduced into cannabis. To fast forward from that, Mangse High School, I struggled because of my eyes. But into that, I was like, how can I make a living out of that while I was still in high school? But I never understood because I never had the passion that I had before. It was just to be an accountant. But when I checked myself, I'm passionate about a lot of things, business, selling, because I've been selling from primary, but different things. So fast forward into that 2018, I was with a guy, to mention him is Tumi, and my brother, to mention him is Dominic. So they groomed me because we've been smoking and they've been telling me about the information of ganja. Do you know what you're smoking? Where is it coming from? So they got me curious about information of cannabis on my own personal space. That's when I started to let me find information. What is cannabis? What type of cannabis are there? Why must I smoke? If I'm smoking, how am I feeling? So I got into a personal research into that. So fast forward from there, that's when I through my phone I met the guys they called by strain hunters from Australia. Yeah, so they inspired me a lot because they did something that I never thought or seen in South Africa. Because I was like, I've never seen such in South Africa. And from within that, they traveled to South Africa. Traveled to Eastern Cape, and then that's when I changed. My life started to change from there because I was like, I need to go to Mampondweni and see what is happening. Mind you, I never knew anyone at Mampondweni. I don't know where to start if I'm going to go to Mampondweni. But I had that about the back in my mind, and you need to go there and then start initiating. And fast forward from that, I met a guy his name is called Avela. While I was at Eastern Cape, because I traveled to Eastern Cape, I linked with him, and the man, he broke it down in simple sense of, Tina, we've been growing ganja since I was born. So that's when I was like, okay, really? He told me and he showed me the spaces, and he shared the dream of me. I would like to see us as a people of Mampondweni in the national dialogue, or people recognizes us into the country, because most of people, they don't know that cannabis is grown in Eastern Cape. I never knew that before. So when I met him, I shared my idea of me. I would like to see a brand, like to brand what cannabis, this cannabis that you are planting, to brand it, to put it into South African at least market. So that's when I was like, go and make a research and see. He helped me a lot. He helped me a lot.
Let's fast forward and look at moving away from the stereotypical way of looking at cannabis, looking at it actually as a plant,
Yes.
not as ganja, and that's where it ends.
True.
Where are you in that process of discovering what else cannabis can do? There's like CBD oils these days and all kinds of wonderful products, as it were. Where are you in that discovery for your business?
Currently, we've built a massive currently within our space when it comes to cultural and indigenous systems. So what we did is to collaborate with other small-scale farmers, to collaborate with rural area people, whereby they've been growing this indigenous ganja for centuries. So that's how we started to say, let's formalize ourselves so that we can formalize these small scale farmers, these indigenous people, so that we can put their stories to be heard into South Africa's landscape. So that's how we started into that. And yeah, we've been working into that for the past 4 or 5 years right now.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I understand Eplangeni has many components to it, and one of them is the Eplangeni Nursery Production Division.
Yes.
But okay, so you'll tell us a bit more about that. But I do want to get an understanding, and I think for those that are maybe listening to your story and interested in growing cannabis, what does it actually take to be a cannabis grower? How do you start? Because I would imagine at this time that there is a lot of regulation and compliance that needs to be adhered to.
Yes. So firstly, you need to know why are you doing it. Firstly, you see, so that you cannot just do because other people are doing it. Because most of people, they are into cannabis because they think cannabis it's all about money. I want to make money.
Of course,
yes,
yeah.
maybe I've been retrenched. I've got some little money. Can I start cannabis? So for us, you need to know why you're doing that. So into that, firstly, you need to communicate or check or understand that, and then start a brand. You see, have a name, and then formalize yourself within CIPCs. And then from there, we're working with Mbosa, Marijuana Board of South Africa, which is an organization that is it's working hand in hand within the government spaces. So, yes, so from there, we can take you into Mbosa, Marijuana Board of South Africa. You can get registered from there, and then we can give you if you have a space, yes, then you can start from the space. We can come and inspect the space from Marijuana Board of South Africa's side, and then from there we give you a manual of how to do things. Because as we say, if you know how or you know why you're doing it, then we can give you a manual of saying this is a start. If you need growers, people that they can assist you, people, the researchers, if you need legislation, because we're working with lawyers again, you see, within the government spaces. So that's how, if you want to start a business of cultivation, that's how we can guide you from there.
Okay, it sounds absolutely interesting. You have found your thing and you're going for it.
Yes.
In studio with me is Xolani Mathews Mashaba, founder of Eplangeni Group, with Eplangeni Nursery Production at the heart of the business.
Africa World Hour with Mpositole.
David Njumbe, who's a long-serving personal assistant to Tundu Lisu for over 15 years, on the night of 20 May, he survived a shocking abduction attempt just meters from his home. Talk us through what exactly happened on that night.
It is something that happened in my head. I expected to meet such situation for several months since the first attempt to abduct me was 6 months ago. There was a car coming very speedy behind me. I let them go. Instead of going, more than 6 people came out of that car and attacked me and they said police. I started fighting back and they handcuffed me. Immediately they started beating me, and one of them was telling me, you have been running here and there, now it's your time, it's your day, it's your last day.
Africa World Hour with Mpositole. Catch it on the Channel Africa app, SABC Plus, and on channelafrica.co.za. Weekdays from 9 till 10 p.m. Central African Time. Every headline has a human side. The Journal with Mmatsheko Mosito on the African Perspective.
22 minutes into 10 a.m. in Central African Time. We continue with The Living Land. Speaking to Xolani Mashaba in studio with me, and he, of course, founded and represents Eplangeni Group, not Mpangeni Wazulu.
Thank you for that.
Eplangeni, which
Yes.
it's actually a village in the Eastern Cape, right?
Yes, it is a village. It's the name of the village in Eastern Cape or in Flagstaff, whereby Avela is coming from, the guy that I first met.
Yes.
Yes, who introduced me to this. So, yeah, that's why I told him can I name the company after your village? Because your village knows more about cannabis, and they've been there for centuries, since from the kings that they've been ruling. So they know very well about the cannabis, how to plant it. So that's how I started the name of, can I represent your community so that when it comes to the African thing, and then we can go and give back to the Eplangeni.
Yes, but also you forgot to mention that is actually your ancestral home as well.
Yes,
your
my
father
ancestral
comes from
home.
there.
He comes from Ematatiela, which is a north side of Eastern Cape, because Eastern Cape is like separated into three spaces. There's a north side, whereby north it's Matatiela, Mount Fletcher, nearby Kokstad. So all of those spaces, it's like Lesotho and Xhosa integrated type of a spaces. And then when you go into the east side of Eastern Cape, that's where you found Emampondweni, where it's by the coastal side of Emampon. A beautiful place, guys.
Absolutely stunning. Let me tell you something. The black geographies in the southern part of this continent are interesting because they're very much integrated to how we live, how we understand things, what we grow, like cannabis, as we noted right now. Eplangeni has a nursery production. Talk to us about how it works and what you're growing.
Okay, nursery production, it's consisting of cannabis products only, whereby it's a dispensary, it's a retail, it's pre-rolls, it's flowers, everything that consists of cannabis, in its rawest form, in its shapest. So that's why we started that of, let's make it a brand on its own, an entity on its own, so that people, they're no longer only focusing on cannabis, because that's why now we made it to become as a group, you see, so that it has some conglomerates within the brand. So the nursery production is one of the conglomerate within Eplangeni. So it consists only with cannabis products, in which now I've got some pre-rolls.
You've brought some.
Yes, I've brought some pre-rolls, whereby you can just check them. And we have 3 tiers within our pre-roll sectors, which it consists of outdoor and tunnel and then and indoors.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I've got like a black one, and it says hybrid. It says hybrid.
It's hybrid, yes. So it's a middle.
So what's the difference between the two? This is sativa.
Yes. So to break it down in short, simplest form, sativa and indica, those are 2 cannabis categories within the cannabis, you see. So to categorize that, to differentiate within that, the sativa one is the one that is coming from the north, but it gives you a high and a sleepy mode, and it gives you a
this one.
Calm. No, the next one,
the other one.
Yes.
This one.
So that one, it's a hybrid, whereby they combined the sativa and the indica to make it a hybrid. So that one is the middle one.
Hence hybrid.
Yes,
okay.
That's the middle one. And
this one.
This one, it's a sativa. So I forgot to bring the indica one. Yeah, but it's a top tier one. So that's why I'm saying we have 3 tiers within the pre-roll space. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then what else do you make? Do you make like oils and teas and things like that with the cannabis?
We working with people that they, like, we call them informal business people. For an example, the snaymans, the extractors, the people that they extract the cannabis from the flower to make it the oil, to make it a hash. So we're working with most people like that, but mostly are they like underdevelopers. So people that we want to make them formal and to give them an aspect of being an entrepreneur within their spaces. Yes.
Who are your partners?
The partners, firstly, to mention, it's Bud Bunnies. So the Bud Bunnies, they have a dispensary. You see, so those guys, we're working with them close hand in hand, because that's where we have a team. We formed a team whereby it's board members within these two brands. So it's not only them, but they are most people that at least they can recognize it's Bud Bunnies, and then some other people, because we're working, as I said, they're non-developed. That developers,
the informal market,
marketers. So that's the other people that we're working with, and then we're working with House of 420. You see, it's a dispensary whereby we share ideas, we share knowledge, we share information, we share most of the things, and then we work hand in hand with Marijuana Board of South Africa. Yes, whereby it's a regulatory. Yes, it's a regulatory for us.
Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, so let's look ahead then. You mentioned a little bit about, how you'd like to see the business grow, but effectively from an economic perspective, in trying to formalize, the cannabis sector in many aspects. What else are you looking to do to make that happen in the future?
To expand more is to make people remove the stigma of cannabis. You see, because firstly, that's why we got into business. Let's formalize this so that people, they shouldn't look at it as if it's something to smoke. You take it from the garden and you smoke and you get high and you sleep. So for us, that's when we were like, let's make it professional. Let's make it a business on its own. Let's break it down into the departments so that people, they can have different departments, because we have a CEO within our company whereby he's a non-smoker. You see, so that's how we got to work with them, because they gave us a bigger idea and a bigger picture of, let's not only focus on the people that they're smoking, because it's a niche a business to say, but for us, let's integrate it to make it as a home. You can bring your kids, you can bring the skaters, you can bring the lifestyle, because that's what we are looking for right now, to make it as a brand. As you could see, we have an apparel. You see, we not only have apparel, we have a lifestyle. So we're building that. We have a culture again, the culture that consisting with skaters. Yeah, because a lot of skaters, 90 or 80% of skaters, they use this plant, you see, and not alone plant, but they have the similar lifestyle to live. They have the type of clothing that they need, to represent themselves. So that's how we built that culture of, let's make sure that people, even if you are not a ganja user or you're not cannabis user, you can come to the store, you can come to the place, or you can be part of Eplangeni. So that's the future plan for us, to keep it going and to make it, an African recognized brand.
Yeah, yes. I think that's how I know you're onto something.
Yes.
Is looking beyond, the farm into apparel, into lifestyle, and that's exactly how you're going to be sustainable.
T-shirts here.
Oh, you do.
To see in what you are talking about. So these
Gorgeous.
T-shirts, they
like the yellow
present two entities within
Let me see the
Eplangeni.
yellow one.
You see, so that one is for Eplangeni Group, which is a formal one. You can wear at your workplace, you can wear it any place. And then this one is for Eplangeni Nursery production, whereby it's for stoners. So you can open that one and check it at the back. It has some names.
Maybe not for me.
It's not for you, but it has some names.
Oh, that is so cool.
The African names.
That is very cool.
And some slang names, whereby
for the
around
plant.
Africa, yes, around Africa, this is the name that every person they mention if they're talking about cannabis.
That is so cool.
Yes.
That is, you are just the coolest human being. Xolani, thank you very much for your time.
I really
I wish
appreciate
you all the best with this entity, and hopefully one day we'll speak to you and your partners and get a sense of how you're trying to grow the sector.
I really appreciate it. And thank you guys for the opportunity, and thank you guys to believing in us. As I said, it's a niche topic. Sometimes it's a niche conversation to other people, because we want to make people be familiar with this. You see, cannabis is not only just a plant people to smoke. Cannabis, it has a lot of varieties for us to to use it.
True.
You see, so it's into that, and let the kids know about this, because in school sometimes if you talk about cannabis, some other people, they look at you differently. You see, if you are a Rasta man, they look at you differently.
Of course.
So that's what we are trying to do, just to remove the stigma from the peoples and from Africa, so that people, they should know their values. Because the cannabis, it's one of our values, one of our economic growing plant. for us that we can make something out of it.
Xolani,
I really appreciate it.
thank you once again. Thank you so much. Xolani Mashaba of Eplangeni Group with Eplangeni Nursery Production incorporated in there as well. 10:31, Figilele Ngwati standing by with the latest sports.
Sports.